everything you need to know before luxury shopping in Europe. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celesta. We talk about all things luxury shopping and handbags. If you love those things, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do post videos every week. So if you've been following me for a while or on different platforms, you know that I have gone to Europe many times. I usually go to Europe at least once a year, and we all know shopping in Europe is the best. It is cheaper, you get better service, sometimes there's even better stock, and I'm gonna walk you guys through the entire VAT refund process, how to do that. But I also wanted to show you guys my current wish list, maybe shopping list, maybe wish list for everything that I plan or hope to get while I'm in Europe. I am going around the holiday time. Depending on when this video goes up, I might have already gone already, but I wanted to walk you guys through kind of like my process for checking the price, comparing the price. I do have an Excel spreadsheet or Google sheet for it. Am I a little bit type A? Yes, but I will be walking through everything on my list, and I will be talking about all of the tips, walk you guys through like a step-by-step VAT refund guide, if you will, for your upcoming travels. So I have a Google sheet of every item that I want, how much it costs here in the US, how much it costs with the sales tax. I live in an area where sales tax is about 10%, so I always factor that in. Is there any additional discounts that I can get? Can I get it from a department store where it might be discounted or they have some kind of promo? Can I get in Hawaii? Sometimes if you are close with your sales associate in Hawaii, they can actually ship it to you to the mainland, or maybe I'm going to Hawaii soon. Anywhere where they use the euro currency is going to be the same. I know I generally say Europe, and yes, it's an entire continent, I know that. But when I'm referring to Europe, euro, that's the same price. If you are shopping in London, you're gonna get a different price because they use the British pound. The British pound to US dollar conversion is also not as good compared to the euro, so it makes it a little bit more expensive. I believe last year they got rid of the VAT refund in the UK, so you don't get that money back. And typically you get between 12 to 14% depending on the country. You can also shop at the airport and get duty free. We're gonna walk through all of that. So the first item I have on my spreadsheet is the Louis Vuitton Capucine. This should be no surprise to you guys if you've been following for a while. I want it very particular, and I think that's why it's taken me a while to find it, because I finally figured out I want the nano size, which is the smallest size that they recently released about a year ago. They do have a mini size, and the mini size is a little bit easier to find, but I want the nano size. I want it in calfskin. I don't want ostrich. I don't want crocodile. I don't want like any kind of exotic. I just want calfskin, and I want it in a light pink with gold hardware. It might seem like I'm asking for the world, but that's kind of the combination that I'm hoping for. That's kind of the combination that I'm waiting for. I don't know if they're gonna have it in Europe, but the retail price for that here is around $6,900 plus tax. That brings the total to $75.90. The European price is $52.50 minus the 12% VAT refund. I am going to Paris, and Paris is about 12% back, so I'm kind of just banking on 12%. I think certain countries, I think Spain was a little bit higher than 12%, and there is like a whole website where you can figure out like exactly what the percentage is. I kind of like to lean on like the more conservative approach, so if like 12% is the minimum that I get back, I will take it. If I get a little bit more, even better. But we're aiming for the 12% back, which then brings the total European price to $49.97. And then I also have that converted to the US dollar on the spreadsheet, and then I can easily take that minus the US price and calculate what percentage savings I am saving. So for that specific item, I would be saving 34%. Other items I do have on this wish list is kind of an either or for me. I've really been eyeing the Bottega Bang Bang Vanity. This used to not be called the Bang Bang Vanity. I think it was like vanity case pouch or something like that, and then they added in the bang bang. And I recently told my sales associate, I was like, I want this in a light pink, which is like very similar to this color actually, and they just released it and I saw it in stores. I thought it was beautiful. I don't know that I exactly want to wait. I'm also just having a hard time figuring out like how I'm going to wear this. Is this a duplicate in my collection? If I don't do the Bottega Vanity, I might get the Loro Piana one. It really kind of depends what's in store. Both of them are pretty similar in price range. So it really kind of depends on the color selection, what's available in store, and everything like that. Another item that I actually had my eye on, if you guys watch my wedding / honeymoon mini moon vlog, I was at the airport in Rome and they had the Gucci Jackie with the lizard, the mesh, the crystals in light pink for the full VAT refund / duty free price. So that ended up being, I think, 3,900 euros, something around that price range. And I was like, this is a steal. This bag is over $6,000 in the US. Not to mention this bag is hard to find. And then I looked at the bag and it's missing a crystal. And I've never been so disappointed before because I was like, this is perfect. I want it. And yes, I could have gotten it and then sent it off to repairs for them to glue the crystal back on. But I feel like by the time I sent it off to repair, maybe another crystal would have fallen off. It's just like, it's a whole process. And I feel like it might like take away from the enjoyment that I have from getting the bag initially. So I just decided not to get it. And I figured if I find it again, maybe even better at an airport where it is the full duty free, then I might take the plunge. You know, maybe we'll see. If it's meant to be, it'll come back, right? And so that is on the list. I'm not feeling super hopeful, but why not? I have been eyeing these for the last 2 years. I want to get an Hermes Chypre sandal in the Sherpa material. They had it in Paris when I was there, when I got engaged 2 years ago, and they only had it in like a red, almost like orange color. And I was like, do you have white? Do you have black? Like neutrals, please? They did not have that. So we're gonna see again. I'm not feeling as hopeful for these because I feel like everybody wants them around this time, but they are on the list. And then the last item that I have on this list that I definitely will not be purchasing on this trip is the Cartier Baignoire. And I say this because in the Madrid store at the Four Seasons specifically, you can buy Cartier at the full duty-free price / VAT refund, like the full VAT refund. So the full 22%, 24%, something like that. And I know that like it shouldn't make that big of a difference. Like that extra 10% shouldn't make a huge difference. However, when you are spending $12,000 on an item, that makes a pretty significant difference. I'm kind of waiting for that. Maybe that's like a big birthday gift for myself, maybe a new job. Like I have no idea, but I'm kind of waiting for that before I pull the trigger. I know for a fact I'm not going to buy this in the US. I know for a fact that I most likely will not buy it on this trip, especially if I'm buying it in Paris. Maybe I find it at the duty-free store at the airport, but it's a very, very slim chance. I also know this is a very highly sought after watch, but we're gonna add it to the list just to manifest, you know? And then obviously while we're in Paris, we're gonna be shooting our shot with the leather appointments at Hermes. Are we gonna get anything? Maybe, maybe not, but you never know. Okay, now let's walk through the VAT refund process. Any luxury brand that originates from Europe, you will find a better deal. Everything down to Chanel, Celine, Hermes, even Cezanne, you will find a better deal shopping in the EU compared to in the US. The only exception for this are kind of American brands, I feel. I think they have different stuff sometimes. Like if you look at like H&M, Zara, like pricing might be a little bit better. But if you're looking at like Tiffany's, for example, it's gonna be, the pricing is pretty comparable to the US. So it really kind of depends. Like maybe you want to save on a little bit of sales tax, you know, whatever. It's kind of your decision. But if you shop within the EU and you are not an EU citizen, you will get 12 to about 15% VAT refund back. You get the maximum amount, which is 22 to 24% if you are shopping duty-free at the airport or with exception stores like the Cartier at the Four Seasons in Madrid. But for the most part, you can kind of expect the minimum is around 12%. There is, however, a minimum spend that you need to make at the store in order to qualify for the refund, which is why if you're making smaller purchases, like maybe it's a couple Caudalie products or, you know, beauty products, whatever, you might actually benefit from shopping at a department store where you can buy a couple other things from different companies. You can take it to the department store's that refund processing area and you can get all of it back at one time. That might actually be the simpler solution if you're making small purchases here and there. I think each country is different depending on the minimum. I've seen around 150 euros, but it is very, very, very important to bring your passport when you are shopping luxury. I almost have like a designated shopping day at the end of my trip, and I usually do this towards the end because I don't want to be carrying my stuff city to city unless there's an item that I know they only have this one item in Venice. They only have this one item in Milan. That's not the last leg of my trip. More often than not, I will wait until the last leg of my trip to purchase the item, so I'm not carrying it from hotel to hotel, train to train, you know, whatever. It's just sitting in the hotel room. All of these things, you never know what can happen. I usually just save it for the last, and I have a designated shopping day, which is the one day I bring my passport out. I don't normally carry my passport when I'm traveling. You never know what can happen. And a lot of the stores require the actual passport. So sometimes I have tried to bring like a copy of my passport. Sometimes they accept it, sometimes they don't. So keep that in mind as well. If you are planning on doing your luxury shopping, I recommend saving it for one day and bringing your passport for that one day. If you are shopping at a luxury store, they should fill out this information for you. So you go to the register, you pick out your item, you know, whatever, you do the whole thing. They should fill out the VAT refund form for you. There's typically two companies that, especially in the EU, that are partnering with these luxury stores. It's either Global Blue or I think the other one is called Planet. And I feel like Global Blue is easier and it is more common. I've only seen Planet for Sephora. I've seen it for Goyard, and I think I saw it for Gucci. Louis Vuitton uses Global Blue. I actually don't think I bought anything from Chanel. Hermes uses Global Blue. So most of the big companies do use Global Blue. And once you have everything filled out, I personally always download the Global Blue app. I have the app on my phone. I created a profile, inserted my passport number, did all the things, and almost instantaneously that refund amount or the estimated amount should pop up on your phone. So it should show you like refund processing or needs to go to customs or whatever. And so you know that that refund is linked to your passport number and you should be getting that amount back. I believe you can also insert your credit card information on there so it knows to go back to that account. All of the things. The app is so helpful when tracking, because I feel like the first time that I went shopping, I did not have the app. This was like 2015, so I don't even think they had an app back then, but it was really helpful to be able to track the refund, see where the item is, see where you are in the processing for that. Let's say end of the trip, you're going to the airport, allow yourself extra time. I cannot stress this enough because I was actually at the Madrid airport flying home and there was a huge line to get to it was like the customs or duty free. It was like the customs line or the refund line, something like that. And then I realized I was standing in the wrong line. But be very careful, especially if you're traveling around the holiday season, there might be a long line. So please allow yourself extra time to do this at the airport. More often than not, it should be pretty streamlined. You should look for a little kiosk and it should say like, VAT refund, tax refund, something of that sort. And all you need to do is scan in the form onto the little kiosk and you should be good to go. And then it should actually pop up on your Global Blue app that says like refund processing, please allow 7 business days or something like that. It should be very straightforward, very easy. Sometimes you might have to show the item to the customs officer. So you want to keep the item on you for your trip. I never ever check in my luxury designer items into my checked luggage, and I highly recommend you do the same. This is kind of why I travel with my Longchamp expandable duffel, because all of the shopping that I do, I put it in that duffel in case they're like, hey, we want to see X item that you bought. You can easily take it out and show it to them. And then sometimes they require like a physical stamp. So it really depends on the airport, depends on your item, depends on the amount of items. I don't know how they pick and choose when you need to see a customs officer and when you don't, because sometimes I have to, sometimes I don't. And then the last thing I have to emphasize, when you are coming back to your home country, and I'm assuming most of you are in the US, you have to declare these items when you come back to your country. The minimum amount to declare is $800 if you're traveling with your family. Let's say you're traveling with your spouse, that is $1,600, 800 times 2. If you're traveling with a family of 4, you get $3,200, that is tax free. Anything over that amount, they could technically tax you on it. It really depends on the officer, depends on how much. Sometimes if it's just a little bit over, they kind of wave you through. They don't want to bother with the paperwork. I have also seen other times where If it's like a significant amount over, you just have to go over and pay the amount. Typically, it's usually like 2 to 3%. It's not up to 10%. It's not too much, all things considered, because you're still saving that money while shopping in Europe. But they always say you have to be honest with this, because if you have global entry and you're not honest with this, they can actually take that away from you. They can take the items away from you. They can fine you. There's like a whole bunch of things that they can do. It's always been rumored that the systems somehow have been synced. I've been hearing this rumor for years. I don't know how true this is. If you happen to know how true this is, let me know in the comments or send me a DM if you want to be a little private. Allegedly, the systems are linked. So as soon as you use your passport in the EU to file for a tax refund, that information allegedly is passed on over to the US. They know when you are coming back into the country, how much money you spent abroad, how much you are trying to claim in VAT refund. And they know, and they're like, hey, you spent $5,000. And they are allowed to charge you import duties on those items. I don't know how true that is to be synced. I'm always honest with that. I don't risk it, but that is the full situation. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to show you guys everything that I do plan on getting in Europe. I'm gonna be doing a vlog and haul as well, so keep an eye out for that. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, please. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any additional questions I did not answer about that refund. I've been doing this for many years, probably 6 or 7 years at this point. So I have done this for quite a while. Let me know if there's any questions I can answer, but I will leave another video for you guys here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!